if President John Dramani Mahama can do these three things for Ghana, in my opinion, ladies and gentlemen, he should be allowed to run a third term. In fact, I will advocate for him to change the constitution of Ghana and run again. Now, Ghana, we need to understand that there is no use in changing presidents or governments when all of them are failing. There is zero use for that. When you look around all the countries that have developed in the last 50 years, ladies and gentlemen, there is one thing common with all of them. South Korea, Malaysia, China, Singapore, even in Rwanda. This is what they share in common. When they found the one leader who was doing the right thing for the people or for the country, they didn't look for another, even though a few opposition people made noise. They maintained them, ladies and gentlemen. They maintained them. President Park Chung-hee of South Korea ruled for 16 years and led Korea's rapid economic growth, which is also called the miracle of the Han River. He industrialized the country and built their infrastructure, which they have developed on till today. Same thing applies, ladies and gentlemen, to the former Prime Minister of Malaysia. Prime Minister Mahathir Mohamad led Malaysia from 1981 to 2003 for 22 years. And the people brought him even back again when they had crisis in 2018 to 2020. One Prime Minister, he made Malaysia what it is today. Singapore had Lee Kuan Yew from 1959 to 1990, a whopping 31 years in that time frame, transforming Singapore from a poor fishing village to a global economic powerhouse. President Mao Zedong founded and unified modern-day China, but President Deng Xiaoping introduced economic reforms and opened China to global markets from 1978 to 1992. Today, we talk about President Paul Kagame of Rwanda, and we applaud him. Why? Because of where Rwanda was and where it is now. But people forget, ladies and gentlemen, that he has been there from 2000 till today. That is 25 years and counting. In Rwanda's recent referendum, the people of Rwanda voted 99.1% in favor of he staying on as president for another 5 years. Do you see what's happening here and the difference, ladies and gentlemen? It's not the 4 years and 8 years. It's finding a good leader and allowing him to work in the long term. We have been doing 8 years changes since 1992, and our country is still broke, and we are in dire need of an IMF bailout. Did it help us like we wanted, ladies and gentlemen? So now, these are the three things that will make me rally behind the idea of entertaining a referendum for Ghanaians to decide in a yes or no situation whether to change the constitution of Ghana for our current president to run for another term of office or not. Ladies and gentlemen, please bear with me. So let's look at the three things I'm looking out for. The first thing I look out for is when the president starts the largest state farm in Ghana. I'm talking about something never done in Ghana's history. A 5,000-acre land of maize or cassava or rice. He will have to run the biggest poultry farm in Ghana's history. 100,000 bird poultry farm in the first 2 years, ladies and gentlemen, and expand it to about 300,000 birds in the next 3 years. Now, for those who may think this is a ridiculous idea, listen, it's because you've never seen what real solutions that bring sustainable development actually means. Because it's a common thing in China and in Malaysia where I've been and seen. The totality of these farms will cost the country approximately $300 million. And I promise you, ladies and gentlemen, that this investment will be recouped by the end of 1 year, the first year. Additionally, he doesn't need to only use Ghanaians to run it. He can bring in foreign hands for diversification and expertise and run the farm successfully and profitably. Ladies and gentlemen, there is not a single reason the government of Ghana shouldn't own these enterprises and shouldn't run it successfully unless they are in bed with some foreign or local entities who holds some leverage over them and will force them to continue importing and depending on external supplies. Ladies and gentlemen, if the president is bold to consider this idea, he can definitely raise the funds for it. The country doesn't need to own the businesses fully. That is my argument. But must always be the majority shareholder. In that case, our food security is dependent on us. If the president does this, he's got my support for the coming elections. Secondly, if the president of Ghana can start just one large-scale mining company, he's got me on board. Ladies and gentlemen, Ghana is gold, just as Canada is the maple tree. It's just found everywhere. Now, we have allowed every other person to benefit from the one valuable thing we own, except for the state, which is unacceptable. This will cost Ghana same figures as the farm projects, and the benefits are just enormous. Gold is and will always be in demand, and their market value will always be consistent. That's what we sit on, and that's where our source of wealth will come from locally. Ladies and gentlemen, if the president of Ghana will adhere to this call to look into these two massive projects from this year onwards, ladies and gentlemen, he is clearly going to set himself apart from all the previous presidents in our fourth republic. This is, to me, suggestive of a good president for Ghana. And per my introduction, that will mean we will have to keep him. We cannot just remove a president because he's done 8 years when he's clearly doing the right thing. We should be focused on what they are doing to determine how long they stay. If development is what's on our mind, if that is what we want, and not just the terms stipulated, ladies and gentlemen. Finally, the third thing I would love to see the president of Ghana do to win me over, not only to support his cause, but to advocate for his third term, will be when he considers establishing a state construction company. Ghana has too many civil engineers who are either unemployed or already employed by the State Department, who actually, ladies and gentlemen, do nothing. We need to build a state construction company that will take care of all government civil engineers and civil projects, from roads to schools to hospitals, etc. That's how the Chinese started. And that's why China Construction Company is the largest construction company on the face of the world today. The Chinese government deliberately established it in 1957 to take charge of all state projects. They learned on the job and improved, and today they are able to build all manner of projects no matter the size. Ladies and gentlemen, this is what Ghana needs, and it can be done no matter how small. No matter how small we start, even if we start today, the moment this enterprise properly establishes, there will be no room to give government contracts to private contractors. This process of government contract to private contractors has been a proxy for corruption for years and has never provided value for money. So this is my proposal to the President of Ghana, His Excellency President John Dramani Mahama. Ghana is looking for that one leader who has ideas that can transform our country in a decade, not in a century. We desire the type of leadership that has worked in these Asian countries, because we know we were better off when we started with them and deserve to be on their level, if not for anything. But we also know this can be done by adopting some of their methods, which includes state enterprises, ladies and gentlemen. So I suggest we look into these three industries: poultry industry, maize, rice, cassava industry, and then the construction industry. If you can get this rolling, Mr. President, I will personally be your advocate for a referendum to change the constitution of Ghana for you to run a third term in office. Unless you are not interested, I would like to know your thoughts on this subject in the comments. Do you think changing presidents every 8 years is the way forward for Ghana? Or should we keep a good president when we see the good things he's doing for the country, ladies and gentlemen? By the way, what qualifies one as a good president, in your opinion? Let's know that in the comment section below. And make sure to subscribe and click on the notification bell for more of my videos. God bless you. I'll see you in the next one. It's bye-bye for now.